Hello, this is James at KBR Conveyor Sections. Just want to do a quick video of a belt conveyor just while it's in its pre-build stage, just so you can see what work goes into the conveyors. And this one in particular, this is a 1534 wide belt width, so it's quite a big conveyor, 4.5 meters long. So this is a KCB 138 model with a steel geared drum motor. The 138 can also be built with a side mounted motor gearbox as an additional option. So what we've got here is the 138 diameter. It's a steel geared drum. And then what we've got is a rubber covering over the actual roller itself. This is a 3mm smooth lagging. This just helps us create traction on the underside of the belt. This conveyor is going to be moving uphill, so it's on an inclined angle. The belt itself will actually have flights on it as well. So what the lagging actually does, it just helps us increase the traction on the underside of the belt material. So what we don't want to happen is that belt ends up slipping. See, on the other end of the conveyor, we've actually just got a mild steel machine shell. So there's no need to actually lag the end roller on this. It's not going to gain us any additional traction by lagging that roller. We just need it to run nice and smooth. So what we've got here is the end plates on the conveyor. On the 138, the end plates are generally upgraded to an 8mm tension unit. Because of the weight of the drums, it just helps to just have that little bit more material just to hold those rollers in position. In addition to the end plates being uprated, we can also rate the frames. This particular one's just in 2.5mm because we're going to be bracing the full length of the underside of this belt conveyor. So there was no need to actually uprate the section on the side of this. So what we've got here is the actual support pans of the conveyor. Now, being that it's a 1530 wide belt width, obviously the pans on this are quite big. Even though we've got the capability to be able to fold out these pans and cut them at larger sizes, it just helps from a handling point of view to be able to make them in smaller sections. In addition to that, it also actually makes the conveyor stronger. We've got more nuts and bolts fixing it together. And also where the pans are folded on all four sides, it actually creates an extra rib for the pan to be able to support. So in effect, it's like having an additional rib in the pan itself. I'll just show you the underside of the conveyor so you can see what's actually gone into the work on the underside. So what we can see here is we've got the 40x40 cross braces up here. Now these are tying the frame in together. They're in regular intervals, about 600mm centres all the way down the conveyor. This is giving us a nice strong frame. And then in addition to that, where you can see the pans up here, so what we've done is welded a 30x30 angle in them across the length. It just makes the pan nice and rigid. There's going to be some weight being dropped onto this conveyor, so for that reason the pans have been reinforced in the centre and at the loading point where the product's actually going to be dropping onto it. So here you can see where we've just got the pans bolted back to back. So that there is actually creating another strong point in addition to these braces. So let's take another look now on the top of the conveyor. So what you can see is that we've got the actual pans. You'll notice that there's a gap down the sides of them. So what we do with all of the belts as standard, and we build this into every single belt conveyor we manufacture, is we put a twin tracking guide into the conveyor. So this sits on the outer edges, on the underside of the actual belt itself, which is welded in position. And this just stops the belt from going side to side. So what you'll find with a lot of builds of conveyors is that you won't have a tracking guide system on them. And then there can be a lot of issues in trying to get that belt to run straight. And ultimately, the failure of that is that it can lead to the belts ripping and the costly maintenance of replacing the belts. So you can see we've got the side of the frame, we've got a nice gap there, so we're going to put a 17mm wide by 11mm deep guide into this conveyor, so that belt isn't going to move at all. So even though we've got the tensioners on there, that's really just to put the pressure onto the belt, just to stretch that belt out so it grips onto the drum. It does offer a slight bit of movement side to side, but there's not really much in it, there's only a few mil a side. So what I'll do is another video just to update the conveyor just once the belt's on, so you can see what that looks like. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If there's any questions, please feel free to contact us. It's sales@conveyorsections.com. Thank you.